Sometimes the most romantic songs aren't romantic at all. You hear the soaring chorus, the emotional crescendo, and you think you're listening to a love song. But what if the truth is far more complicated? What if those passionate words were never about love, but about regret, conflict, and a moment that should never have happened? I Just Died in Your Arms became one of the biggest hits of 1987. Millions sang along, couples slow danced to it. Radio played it constantly, but almost no one knew what it was really about. This isn't a song about epic romance or vulnerability, it's a confession of infidelity. A song born from guilt, a moment of weakness captured in 4 minutes of perfect pop production. Every song has a story. New Year's Eve, a time for fresh starts, reconciliation, and terrible decisions. Nick Van Eede, lead singer of Cutting Crew, was about to make one of those decisions. He'd been separated from his girlfriend for about a year. She was the mother of his unborn daughter. The relationship was over. They'd both moved on. But on this particular New Year's Eve, they met again at a party. The chemistry was still there, the attraction undeniable, and despite everything telling him to walk away, he didn't. What happened next would become immortalized in one of the decade's most misunderstood power ballads. Van Eede wrote the song about reuniting with his girlfriend for one night after being apart for a year, with their encounter resulting in fireworks, but mixed with constant feelings of uncertainty about whether he should be doing it. The title was scratched down on a bit of paper the morning after getting back together with an old girlfriend, and Van Eede wrote the basic lyrics within an hour. He knew immediately he had something powerful, but it wasn't about love. It was about the exact opposite. The phrase that would define Cutting Crew's career came from an unlikely source. The title evokes the expression la petite mort, or the little death, a common French euphemism for orgasm dating back more than 150 years. Think about that for a moment. The song millions of people assumed was about romantic vulnerability was actually about the moment of climax during a one-night reconciliation that Van Eede immediately regretted. The phrase allegedly came to Van Eede while he was having sex with his girlfriend, with la petite mort being a metaphor for orgasm. According to Fred Bronson's Billboard book of #1 hits, Van Eede actually said the words out loud in that moment, then rolled over and scribbled them down. He knew instantly they would become a song. What he didn't know was that they would become one of the defining power ballads of the 1980s. But here's what makes the song so dark. It's not about the pleasure, it's about the conflict. The entire time Van Eede was in bed with his ex-girlfriend, his mind was elsewhere. He was analyzing, questioning, regretting. Should he have walked away? Was this a mistake? What did this mean? The lyrics reflect this internal war perfectly. I should have walked away becomes the refrain of someone who knows they're making a terrible decision even while they're making it. I followed my hands, not my head, I know I was wrong, is the admission of someone acting on impulse and desire while their rational mind screams at them to stop. Van Eede woke that morning and wrote the basic lyrics within an hour, then wrote and recorded the demo completely within 3 days. The song poured out of him, all the guilt, all the confusion, all the regret, channeled into 4 minutes of perfect melody. Van Eede was living in a friend's house in Epsom, sleeping on the settee, when he wrote the song on a keyboard with built-in drum patterns. He had always played guitar, had always been in edgy, borderline punky bands. This was something completely different. The opening keyboard riff, those drum machine beats, the soaring chorus. It was pure pop perfection. He took the demo to his bandmate, Kevin McMichael, the brilliant Canadian guitarist he'd convinced to move to London together. They crafted something special. McMichael's guitar work gave the song its emotional depth. His arrangements created those tingly moments, those perfect accents that elevated the track from good to extraordinary, but the darkness remained underneath. This wasn't a song celebrating love. It was a song mourning a mistake. Every time Van Eede sang those words, he was reliving that internal conflict. The pleasure mixed with guilt, the desire mixed with knowing it was wrong. McMichael, the brilliant Canadian guitarist, was much more than just a backing musician. He was the sonic architect of the hit. His task was not simply to play riffs, but to give the song the emotional depth that Van Eede's simple demo could not capture. He took that basic drum pattern and built a massive, epic sonic structure typical of the 80s. His guitar work, full of intricate arrangements, was what created those tingly moments that elevated the track from a good song to an extraordinary one. While Van Eede provided the pain and regret, McMichael provided the glory. Without his arranging genius, his technical talent, and the way he laced his guitars together, Van Eede himself acknowledged that I Just Died in Your Arms would have been just another pop song. McMichael created the perfect sonic aura that wrapped the confession of infidelity. When Cutting Crew released their debut album Broadcast in 1986, they had no idea what was about to happen. The song was released in Britain in July 1986, making a tentative first showing at number 96, before climbing to its number 4 peak during a 4-week run in the British top 10. But America was the real prize. Virgin Records. America made Broadcast their very first stateside release. They remixed 4 songs from the album, including the lead single, and in May 1987, something remarkable happened. In the first week of May 1987, I Just Died in Your Arms climbed to the top of the Billboard Hot 100, where it spent 2 weeks. The song that started as a confession of guilt on a New Year's Eve became the number 1 song in America. It topped the charts in Canada for 3 weeks. It went top 5 in multiple countries around the world. Cutting Crew was nominated for a Grammy Award for Best New Artist. They were everywhere. MTV played the video constantly. The band that had formed just 2 years earlier was now international superstars, all because of a song about a one-night stand that shouldn't have happened. The irony was perfect. Millions of people were slow dancing to a song about infidelity and regret. Couples were choosing it as their song without understanding what it really meant. Radio DJs were calling it romantic without knowing the dark truth hidden in those lyrics. Success at this level comes with a price. And for Cutting Crew, that price was enormous. Van Eede noted that 3 million plays of the song in America put it alongside classics like Lola, Hello Goodbye, and Love Me Do. But here's the curse of the massive debut hit. How do you follow it? How do you prove you're not a one-hit wonder when your first single is that successful? They tried. I've Been in Love Before reached number 9 on the Billboard Hot 100 in the UK. It hit number 24. One for the Mockingbird charted at number 52 in Britain, but nothing came close to matching the phenomenon of their debut single Van Eede later revealed that I've Been in Love Before had 2 million plays in America, making it a big hit, but noted it never took off in the UK, and was the linchpin in what went wrong with Cutting Crew. Had that song been a proper, massive hit like everyone thought it should be, they wouldn't have been tagged as essentially a one-hit wonder. The pressure was crushing. Record companies wanted another I Just Died in Your Arms. Radio wanted another I Just Died in Your Arms. Fans wanted another I Just Died in Your Arms. But lightning doesn't strike twice. And the band that had formed around a confession of guilt was now trapped by its own success. Their sophomore album, The Scattering, came out in 1989, 3 years after their debut. By then, the music landscape had shifted. The shiny pop production of the mid-80s was giving way to grunge, alternative rock, and hip-hop. The lead single stalled at number 77 on the charts. Management battles kept the sophomore album from coming out until 1989, and when it bombed, the group disbanded by 1993. The dream was over. The band that had topped the charts with a confession of infidelity couldn't survive the weight of their own success. After Cutting Crew disbanded and Virgin Records dropped them, Kevin McMichael worked with Robert Plant, playing guitar and composing songs for his 1993 album, Fate of Nations. It was supposed to be a new beginning. McMichael had found success with one of rock's true legends, but fate had other plans. McMichael died of lung cancer at the Queen Elizabeth II Health Sciences Centre in Halifax, Nova Scotia, on December 31, 2002. He was just 51 years old. New Year's Eve, the same holiday that had inspired the song that made him famous. The man whose guitar work had helped create one of the 80s most iconic power ballads was gone. The partnership between Van Eeder and McMichael, which had produced such magic in such a short time, was severed forever. Van Eeder's later words about McMichael had extra poignancy after his passing, crediting him with arranging the guitar work that gave the song its mesh and those tingly moments. Without McMichael's talent, I Just Died in Your Arms would have been just another pop song. Instead, it became a standard. Today, I Just Died in Your Arms remains a fixture on 80s playlists, movie soundtracks, and karaoke nights. It appeared in Hot Tub Time Machine, Hot Rod, Never Been Kissed, and the Lego Batman movie. It was used in Stranger Things and sampled by Jay-Z. Mika built his hit Relax, Take It Easy around its melody. Van Eeder has said the song has been his passport, bank manager, and lover down through the years, noting its impressive 7 million broadcasts in America. He's made peace with being known for one song. The one-hit wonder label used to bother him, but time has softened that sting. But here's what most people still don't understand: that song they're dancing to, that anthem they're singing, isn't about what they think it is. It's not a celebration of love or passion or vulnerability. It's a 4-minute confession of making a terrible decision and knowing it even while it's happening. The beauty of the melody hides the darkness of the meaning. The soaring chorus masks the guilt underneath. The production wraps regret in shiny pop perfection. And decades later, people still don't realize they're singing along to a song about infidelity and moral conflict. That night on New Year's Eve, when Nick Van Eeder reunited with his ex-girlfriend, neither of them knew they were creating rock history. 9 months later, their daughter Lauren was born. The one-night reconciliation that Van Eeder regretted, even as it happened, resulted in new life. And that's the final twist in this story. The song born from guilt and conflict, the confession of a mistake, led to something beautiful. A daughter, a family, a connection that outlasted the band, the fame, and the regret. I Just Died in Your Arms will forever be remembered as a romantic power ballad. But now you know the truth. It's a song about following your hands instead of your head, about knowing you're making a mistake but doing it anyway, about the moment of pleasure followed immediately by the clarity of regret. It's a confession disguised as a love song, a warning dressed up as a celebration, and one of the most successful deceptions in pop music history. Next time you hear that opening keyboard line, those punchy guitars, that soaring chorus, remember what you're really listening to. Not a love song, a confession. The musical equivalent of, I shouldn't have done that, but I did it anyway. And maybe that's why it resonated with so many people. Because we've all had moments like that, moments when we followed our hands instead of our heads, moments we knew were mistakes even while they were happening. Moments of pleasure mixed with regret. Nick Van Eeder just had the courage to turn his into a #1 hit.